The studio lights were bright, the cameras were rolling, and the air inside Good Morning America felt charged with anticipation. Robin Roberts sat across from Meghan Markle, smiling warmly, ready for what was expected to be a positive and uplifting interview. The audience waited, eager to see Meghan speak openly about her new project and her life after stepping away from royal duties. Everything looked calm. But only minutes into the conversation, that calm began to crack. At first the exchange seemed polite. Meghan spoke confidently and Robin nodded along, her usual professionalism shining through. Then it happened. Robin stopped smiling. The warmth in her tone shifted slightly, and her next question landed like a quiet thunderclap. Viewers at home felt it instantly. The mood in the studio changed. Cameras caught Meghan pausing, her expression tightening just enough for everyone to notice. It was supposed to be a friendly conversation about Meghan's charity work and new ventures. Instead, it turned into one of the most talked about moments in morning television. Robin had asked a question Meghan clearly did not expect. A question that felt personal. A question that seemed to cut right through the polished answers and into something raw. For a few seconds, both women held each other's gaze. The silence felt heavier than any word spoken that morning. And millions of viewers were left wondering one thing. Was this Robin Roberts' most unprofessional moment, or her most powerful stand? Before we dive into this unbelievable story, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss the latest celebrity showdowns and royal revelations. We bring you the biggest Hollywood and royal controversies, the moments that light up social media, and the stories that everyone is secretly talking about. If you enjoy real reactions, inside details, and balanced storytelling, you are in the right place. Now back to what just happened on Good Morning America. The moment between Robin Roberts and Meghan Markle was not just another celebrity interview. It felt raw, uncomfortable, and strangely powerful. Viewers across the world could sense that something had shifted live on air. What started as a polished morning segment quickly became one of the most tense exchanges of the year. And as we go deeper into what caused it, you will see why this moment has everyone talking. After spending months away from major television appearances, Meghan Markle's return to the media spotlight felt like a carefully planned comeback. She had been focusing on her foundation, new business projects, and an upcoming Netflix documentary that promised to highlight her journey of independence and empowerment. Many believed this was her chance to rebuild her image and reconnect with audiences who had grown distant over the years. Good Morning America saw the perfect opportunity in this. The producers reached out to Meghan's team for what was presented as a friendly and inspiring conversation. The focus was supposed to be her new charity partnership that aimed to support women and children in developing communities. Everything about the appearance sounded positive, safe, and well-controlled. It was meant to show a softer, more relatable side of Meghan, away from the constant royal controversies. But even before she sat down with Robin Roberts, public reaction was already divided. Some were excited to see her again and praised her for moving forward on her own terms. Others viewed it as another attempt at a publicity push. Social media was filled with mixed opinions, with some calling her inspirational, and others accusing her of staging another image cleanse. The tension between those two sides has followed her ever since she stepped back from royal duties. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed that Meghan's team was cautious about the kind of questions she would face. They wanted to avoid anything that might reopen old wounds related to her time in the royal family. Still, GMA is known for blending warmth with real journalism, and Robin Roberts, being one of the most respected anchors in the industry, was trusted to handle the conversation with grace. What no one expected was how quickly this polished media comeback would turn into one of the most uncomfortable interviews of Meghan's career. Robin Roberts has always been known for her calm and composed style. She is the kind of journalist who makes guests feel comfortable, even when she asks difficult questions. Her reputation on Good Morning America is built on professionalism, empathy, and respect. When people sit across from Robin, they know they are speaking to someone who listens carefully but never shies away from asking what the audience truly wants to know. That is why the announcement of a new exclusive interview with Meghan Markle created such a buzz. The network promoted it for days, teasing viewers with short clips and bold headlines. A rare, honest conversation with Meghan Markle, the voiceover said during commercial breaks. The clips showed Meghan smiling, sitting confidently under studio lights, with Robin beside her. It looked like it would be a moment of positivity, a chance for Meghan to show a different side of herself and connect with the public again. Producers wanted the tone to be inspiring. The plan was to focus on her new charity project, her partnership with Netflix, and her views on women's empowerment. But inside the studio, sources said there was already a quiet tension. Meghan's team reportedly asked for a list of approved topics before the interview began. GMA producers were polite but firm. They wanted the freedom to ask natural, unscripted questions that would make the segment feel authentic. That small disagreement started the day on an uneasy note. Some insiders claimed Meghan arrived looking poised but guarded. She was friendly, but there was a sense that she wanted control over the narrative. The GMA crew noticed it. Robin, experienced as always, sensed it too. She knew how to keep the mood calm, but she also understood when a conversation was about to take a turn. As the countdown began and cameras prepared to go live, the atmosphere inside the studio grew sharper. Everything looked perfect on the outside, but behind that smooth setup was a clash of expectations. Robin wanted a real interview. Meghan's team wanted safe publicity. No one knew that this simple difference would lead to a moment that would leave the audience stunned and social media on fire. The interview started smoothly. Meghan sat across from Robin Roberts under the bright studio lights, smiling confidently as she talked about her new foundation. Her tone was calm and polished, the kind of delivery she had mastered over years of public appearances. Robin nodded along, keeping her usual professional warmth. Everything seemed perfectly balanced, the way Good Morning America liked its interviews to be. But that balance was about to break. After a few light-hearted questions, Robin leaned forward slightly and asked something unexpected. Her tone stayed friendly, but the question carried weight. "Meghan," she said, "you have spoken often about wanting privacy and space from the media. Yet you are now launching a documentary and new projects that keep you in the spotlight. How do you balance that?" The studio went quiet for a second. Meghan smiled, but the smile was tighter now. She adjusted her posture, took a small breath, and answered carefully. "When I talk about privacy, it is about boundaries. It is not about silence. Everyone has a right to tell their story in their own way." She paused, keeping her eyes steady on Robin. "People misunderstand what privacy means. It is about protection, not isolation." Robin listened, still calm, then followed up with a subtle shift in tone. "That makes sense," she said. "But some critics would say you cannot ask for privacy while partnering with global media companies. Is it possible that people are confused because your actions and message seem to move in different directions?" The words landed sharply. Meghan's face froze for a split second before she regained her composure. She replied, "I think people will always interpret things the way they want to. I cannot control that." Her voice was polite, but her expression had changed. The energy in the room felt different now. Robin nodded, but she did not move on. "Fair point," she said. "Still, when you speak about authenticity and transparency, people expect consistency. That is all they want. Clarity." Her tone was measured but firm, like she was drawing a line in the sand. At that moment, Meghan blinked and looked away briefly, trying to maintain her calm. Her answer came slower. "I have always been consistent. I speak my truth." The words hung in the air, but Robin's slight pause after them made everything heavier. The studio audience felt it. Even the camera operators later said you could sense the drop in temperature. Robin gave a small, professional smile and shifted her cards. "Thank you for clarifying that," she said. The conversation moved on, but the tension never faded. Within minutes, clips of that exchange started spreading online. Viewers began posting the moment Robin asked about hypocrisy, calling it the question that changed Meghan's expression. Others replayed Meghan's tight smile and labeled it the moment she lost control. The interview was meant to be light, but what played out live was raw and uncomfortable. The exact humiliation moment came not from shouting or anger, but from silence. Robin had managed to say everything without raising her voice, and the entire world saw Meghan struggle to hold her ground on live television. Robin moved on with her next question as if nothing had happened, but the tension in the studio did not disappear. Her voice stayed steady, her smile returned, and she kept her composure like a true professional. Meghan, on the other hand, looked slightly different now. Her posture stiffened, and her smile felt forced, like she was trying to pull the mood back to normal. You could see the shift in her eyes. She wanted to appear calm, but there was a hint of frustration behind the polite expression. As Robin continued the conversation, the energy between them stayed uneasy. The rest of the questions were simple, but the atmosphere was no longer light. The audience sensed it and so did the crew. Cameras kept rolling, but the room felt heavy. Meghan laughed softly at one of the closing remarks, but even that laugh sounded strained. It was the kind of laugh people give when they are trying to move past something uncomfortable. Then, right before the next segment, producers made a quick decision. The interview ended slightly earlier than planned, and the broadcast cut to a commercial break. It was smooth on air, but behind the scenes people noticed how sudden it felt. One staff member later described the moment as quiet chaos. Robin remained calm during the break, reviewing her notes, while Meghan's team quickly surrounded her, speaking in low voices. As soon as the interview aired, social media exploded. Viewers posted clips within minutes, tagging both women and debating what had really happened. One tweet read, "Robin just ended Meghan's media run in 5 words." Another said, "That was uncomfortable to watch." Meghan looked shocked. Hashtags like #GMA interview and #Meghan Markle trended within the hour. Some fans defended Meghan, saying Robin's question was unfair, while others praised Robin for keeping it real. Even people who missed the live broadcast were catching up online. Short edits of the exchange appeared on TikTok with captions like, "The moment Robin stopped playing nice." Comment sections filled with debates, and clips gained millions of views overnight. Inside GMA, the team was still processing what had just unfolded. It had started as a simple interview, but by the time the commercial ended, the moment had already turned into a viral storm. Within minutes of the broadcast ending, social media turned into a storm. Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok were flooded with clips from the interview, each one replaying the same moment that made viewers freeze. The hashtag Robin and Meghan climbed into the top trends within half an hour. Everyone had an opinion, and the internet quickly split into 2 sides. Team Robin formed almost instantly. Supporters praised her composure, saying she handled the awkward exchange with grace. Many called her the definition of professionalism under pressure. One viral tweet said, "Robin stayed calm while delivering the question everyone was afraid to ask. That is journalism." Another user wrote, "You could feel the tension, but she never lost her cool. Legendary." Reddit threads echoed the same sentiment, calling Robin's reaction a masterclass in live television control. Clips showing her neutral expression gained millions of views with captions like, "The face of quiet confidence." On the other side, Team Meghan fired back. Fans of the Duchess argued that the interview felt like a setup. They said the question was intrusive and designed to make her uncomfortable. One trending post read, "She handled that with grace while being clearly blindsided. Respect." Another popular comment said, "The media never lets Meghan breathe. She was polite even when being cornered." TikTok users stitched the interview clip with emotional music, highlighting Meghan's uneasy smile and claiming she was being treated unfairly once again. By the next morning, the debate had reached television talk shows. Some hosts praised Robin for her tough questioning, saying it reflected her years of experience. Others said the moment felt forced and unnecessary. A former morning show producer, quoted by an entertainment site, described the interview as a perfect storm of live TV unpredictability. An anonymous insider from the GMA team allegedly shared that nobody expected the energy in the room to shift that fast, adding that both women stayed professional once the cameras stopped. Meanwhile, YouTubers and media analysts began breaking down the moment frame by frame. Reaction videos appeared with titles like, "What Really Happened Between Robin and Meghan?" and "The Interview That Changed Everything." Some creators focused on body language, pointing out Meghan's subtle gestures and Robin's steady tone. Others discussed the bigger picture, saying the moment reflected how public perception of both women has evolved over time. By the end of the day, the clip had been viewed over 50 million times across platforms. News outlets ran headlines calling it the most talked about interview of the week. Whether people supported Robin or Meghan, one thing was clear. The exchange had struck a nerve, sparking one of the biggest online debates of the year. A day after the interview, Meghan's team finally broke their silence. A short statement was released to several entertainment outlets, aiming to calm the situation that had taken over social media. The message described Meghan's appearance on GMA as a positive conversation that was unfortunately taken out of context. It also emphasized her respect for Robin Roberts and praised the host for her long career in journalism. The wording was careful, polite, and very intentional. Yet many people noticed the phrasing sounded slightly defensive. The statement read like something meant to cool the fire, but it also hinted that Meghan felt misunderstood. Lines like, "Meghan's words were meant to inspire empathy and not to invite speculation," made readers think the Duchess was trying to correct the narrative. Within minutes, headlines called it a damage control effort. News blogs began comparing it to other times Meghan's team had stepped in to clarify her interviews, suggesting a familiar pattern. Meanwhile, Robin Roberts handled the situation differently. She returned to GMA the next morning with her usual calm and confident presence. During a light segment about celebrity interviews, she made a brief comment that fans immediately linked to Meghan. With a smile, Robin said, "Live TV always brings surprises, but that is what makes conversations real." It was not a direct reference, but the audience understood. Social media exploded again, with fans calling it a graceful clapback. By that point, the story had moved beyond the interview itself. It had become a public relations chess game between two powerful women, each managing her image carefully. Meghan's team wanted to show composure, while Robin's subtle confidence kept her on top. The drama, it seemed, was far from over. Within 24 hours of the interview, Meghan's team released a polished statement aimed at clearing the air. It was sent to several major outlets, describing her appearance on Good Morning America as a thoughtful discussion that was unfortunately misinterpreted. The message opened by thanking Robin Roberts and the GMA team for a respectful and engaging conversation. On paper, it sounded like a calm, professional response. But many noticed how carefully each line was written, almost as if it was designed to sound neutral while subtly defending her side. The statement insisted that Meghan had meant no disrespect and that her remarks were taken out of context. It emphasized that she was focused on positivity and moving forward, not on revisiting royal drama. Yet the tone did not land the way her team hoped. Many in the media described it as damage control, saying the Duchess was trying to repair a public image dented by the tense live exchange. Some journalists even compared it to past statements her team had released after awkward interviews, calling it predictable. While Meghan's team worked behind the scenes, Robin Roberts returned to GMA with her usual poise. During a light conversation about live TV moments, she made a short comment that caught everyone's attention. With a calm smile, Robin said, "Sometimes honesty sounds uncomfortable, but that is when it matters most." She moved on immediately, but viewers knew what she meant. Clips of that single line spread quickly online, with fans calling it a classy response without saying names. By the end of the week, Meghan's statement and Robin's comment had reignited the conversation. What was supposed to end quietly had only added more layers to the drama, leaving fans debating who truly came out on top. In the days that followed, the conversation moved beyond a single interview. It became a discussion about image, power, and how easily public perception can shift. For Meghan Markle, the clash with Robin Roberts was more than an awkward TV moment. It reminded people of how divided her reputation has become. Some saw her as a confident woman standing her ground, while others felt she was too defensive for someone seeking public sympathy. The tension showed how fragile her relationship with the media still is. For someone building a personal brand around authenticity and empowerment, moments like this can have lasting effects. Every word, every reaction is replayed and dissected online. Meghan's critics used the exchange as proof that she struggles under tough questions, while her supporters argued that she was once again being unfairly judged. The result was noise on both sides but little clarity in the middle. It showed how difficult it is to manage a narrative once it starts spinning out of control. Robin Roberts, on the other hand, walked away with her reputation untouched. In fact, many said she came out stronger. Viewers praised her calm professionalism, saying she handled a tense moment with grace. The interview reinforced what Robin is already known for, being firm without being cruel. That contrast between the two women became the story itself. One, a seasoned journalist who thrives under pressure. The other, a public figure still fighting to reshape her image. In the end, the incident served as a reminder of how different their worlds are. Robin plays by the rules of journalism. Meghan plays by the rules of branding. Both are powerful in their own way, but when those two worlds collide on live television, there is always only one winner in the eyes of the audience. The live exchange between Robin Roberts and Meghan Markle will be remembered as one of those rare television moments where the mask slips and reality shows through. For Meghan, it was meant to be a smooth comeback, a chance to reshape her image in front of millions. But what happened instead felt like a turning point. The calm, polished surface cracked, and the audience saw a glimpse of the tension that has followed her since leaving royal life. Some viewers called it a lesson in honesty. They said Robin simply asked what everyone wanted to know and Meghan struggled to keep control of the narrative. Others saw it differently, believing Meghan was ambushed in a setting that was supposed to feel safe. Either way, the moment proved one thing. When power, perception, and emotion collide live on air, there is no hiding from the truth. For Robin, it was another example of her professionalism under pressure. For Meghan, it was a reminder that public opinion can shift in seconds. What was meant to be an empowering interview became a global debate about authenticity and accountability. So what do you think? Did Robin go too far, or did Meghan finally get called out on live TV? Tell us in the comments below. and make sure to subscribe for more stories that pull back the curtain on the world of fame, power, and media.